does anyone else want to see a whole lot of orcs dying? Well, I think we'll be able to do that for you today. We've got a casted series for you. This is in the intermediate bracket of Futomak versus Joffie. We've got Futomak in yellow on the Haradwaith and Joffie in gray on the Misty Mountains. And I will say, there's nothing I hate quite like someone playing the color gray. If you look at the mini-map, it's absolutely indistinguishable from just neutral creeps and like little like stuff wandering around the map, NPCs on the map, all this nonsense. But gray we have it for our man Joffie, right? Joffie, Joffie, yeah. Joffie on the Misty Mountains. He's got 3 Ks, and there was a builder headed east. I can't find him because he's gray. He ran off into the woods. There he is. We're gonna have a forward mine coming up. And Futomak up on Haradwaith. 1, 2, 3 bazaars into the Mordor outpost. Oh, 4 bazaars. There's one hidden way in the back. Unfortunately, it is hidden. Well, maybe fortunately enough, actually, it's weird placement, and we're getting an outpost up next to it. He's gonna see this goblin builder sneaking around there. Where the hell is this guy going? This is the deepest of infiltrations of goblin builders I've ever seen. Hopefully he saw that. But all the way in the corner of the map, we're having an orc tunnel put up. You love to see it. You love to see it. I'm excited. Okay. We've got some... Nope. Those are just some guards. First, Haradwaith warlord out shortly. Meanwhile, back home, 2 goblin caves already up. They were going to be loaded in, but then they changed their minds and they started running. Nobody in the back on the mine yet, but he definitely saw it, right? Because these tribal axemen are up and they are running back to look for it. Okay, so the jig is up, as it were. More Haradwaith tribals coming out. First little wave, 1 tiny band of Moria orc screechers, basically harmless, wouldn't hurt a fly. 1 band of Moria orcs can't do anything. 4 or 5 bands of Moria orcs, and you're starting to get into trouble. I feel like I don't know if these guys are supposed to be here, but they're here. They've popped the daggers, and they got around back of this bazaar. However, we've already got some archers on the field, though, some tribal bowmen, and they're actually wreck those Moria orc creatures so fast. But meanwhile, orcs have popped out of the cave and eaten up those axemen. We've got more axemen and bowmen here. Ought to be able to clean these up, but he could tear the bowmen apart if he just jumps on them. Nope, he's opting to go for this while spreading the axemen out to try to get that forward mine. Over here, we do have spears come up, and they went and creeped a warg camp. He ought to be able to clear this up. This is about half health, but he will clear those out. He's got more spears going for war camp for another warg camp. We got some goblins coming out up north, and more goblins pop out of the tunnels here and clear up those axes. So, whole lot of goblins. 3 goblin Moria orc caves up down south in Moria town, the Misty Mountains. Just loading up those mines and popping out of this almost dead. It's down to about 5% health, so it won't last too much longer, but he did get a nice attack on the northern bazaar. He's going to be able to pull that down. There's a wave of orcs came out up here. I think they must have caught the spearmen who were walking forward. Unfortunately, they don't walk up. They could have stolen some of his gold, taken over this outpost, which is making mound dwellers of Ruidar pretty tough wraith units. Okay, we got a battle here between the tribal bowmen. And over here, he is finally gonna clean up that mine. Over here, a mine goes down, but it looks like the tribals are going to get cleaned up by the orcs before he finishes off the ruins. And of course, the Misty Mountains have a special ability where when their buildings die, they become ruins, and after a time, they will rebuild themselves. He did put a sentry tower here? That's funny. But there's a ton of orcs in the front of the base. Orcs and goblins, interchangeable. But there's a lot of tribals here to battle him, but he cleans up another one of the Haradwaith farms there. The Haradwaith bazaars. I always want to call them embassies. I can't keep bazaar in my mind. Tribal axes trade pretty well into the goblins, but there's a lot of goblins. They're mostly thinned out. He ought to be able to clean that up. He's got a big group of tribals up front here. Are they going to go on the offensive? They are. And it does look like the tribals with heavy casualties do clean up the orcs in the front door. The mine in the back died, but the ruins are still there, so it's going to get rebuilt. That's going to be a real thorn in his side. Big old wave of goblins here. Now, okay, we got a sentry tower down as well for Haradwaith. Haradwaith on 8 ring points, 8 ring points for Misty Mountains. Misty Mountains does have the frozen wastes as well. And it looks like we're just trading goblins straight into tribals. You don't really want to do this. I think the optimal play is really to, your goblins are so quick, the optimal play is really to just sort of run past him. Run past him into his base, make him chase you backwards. There's a cave troll on the field. Is that a real cave troll? Oh, we've got a call of the Khan Phalanx. He must have just hit 10 command points because we've got 4th Men of Darkness. Summon the Phalanx right on top of the troll, gets an easy kill on the troll, and we've got quite a mass of tribals here. However, as I recommended, we do have some goblins in the backfield able to get to work on the bazaars. There's more tribals in the south. There are a lot of tribals in the field. 400 of 625 points on the field for Haradwaith, 300 of 675 for Misty Mountains. So fairly close. Misty Mountains opted for They Are Coming. That must have... Oh, no, that's the new cave troll. That's just a regular cave troll. We need a cave troll destroyer. There it is up here. There's our lad, cave troll destroyer. He's got that big bonking hammer, and he ought to see it. He ran right past it this time. His opponent is yellow. He ought to be able to see the yellow on the map, but he does have this nice force: 4 legions, 4 squads of orc screechers, and a troll in the backfield. Ought to be able to tear stuff up. He's got another troll and some goblins right here on the Haradwaith outpost, getting it a little low, but I think he's about to get pin-cushioned by all these tribals. Down south, some tribals pushing in against some more Moria orcs down south. The tribals ought to get the better end of that affair, but they're going to be left with nothing left but archers, which are not going to be doing a whole lot on the attacking front. Up north, they do clear that out. The troll ran past to get the second one, so we're seeing some buildings go down. 700 on Haradwaith, though, so he's actually been building up, and we do have the Haradwaith Raiders on the field. Raiders are pretty decent tier, sort of 1.5 tier cavalry. Not super tough, but totally capable. Sort of light, middleweight cavalry, totally good at running down these goblins. And we still have a lot of tribals on the field. Down south, they did get cleaned up by some reinforcements. The mass of tribal warriors is headed east, where they know they can see this this cave. They're going to try and clean it up. There is still a cave in the back of the base. I don't know if anybody knows this yet. I don't know if our Misty Mountains boss Joffie here is aware that there's still a cave in the back of the base, because he hasn't utilized it since it rebuilt. But down south, we got a big mass of goblins. They're doing the proper thing where they sort of clump up to get as many models hitting the farm as possible, and down goes that bazaar. Another one right above it, ought to be able to clean that up, but there's a mass, maybe 3 squads of raiders, and he's going to need something to deal with that. Do we have orcs ready? Yep, out come the first of the mountain orc brutes. The first unit that they can really put spears. These are a very tough unit of spearmen. They'll tear those cavalry apart. Of course, our Moria orc caves just have archers and screechers, archers and swordsmen in them, basically. We do have a tier 1 troll lair that is putting out those cave trolls. Up top, a cave troll does go down, and unfortunately the cave troll destroyer got his prize, but is now about to run into the mass of tribals. See him get some smashing done. Ooh, he does take a number of the tribals to Pound Town, but he goes down, selling himself not as dearly as you would have liked for a good old cave troll destroyer. Rebuilds for Haradwaith, 620 of 700. He's done a good job of preserving his force. 560 of 525, so Misty Mountains may be falling a bit behind on the macro. Ooh, in come the Raiders. Now, we had quite a force here. If it had been just 1 cavalry, he almost pulled down the 1 squad of Raiders, but the other 2 kind of showed up and were able to turn it. And here's coming a whole lot of tribal warriors. We'll see if the Misty Mountains are able to push this back. There's a lot of goblins on the field, and there is a troll here, but there's some archers that are focus firing them, and there are some spears in here as well. Rondor spearmen, they are able to take the troll down. We'll see how they fare against the goblins. Meanwhile, back in the Misty Mountains base, there are the orc pikes went up there, along with these squads of Moria Orcs creatures, and they are going to tear down a level 2 Horondor outpost and a level 2 bazaar. That's some big value if they can get that, and it looks like they're going to. In the base, the raiders are causing some grief. 550 command points for Misty Mountains, 800 for Haradwaith. So Misty Mountains, I feel like getting a lot of destruction, but Haradwaith's been very good at just rebuilding. They're losing bazaars, but they're putting new ones up at a faster rate, so it's going well. They do force a lot of the tribals to fall back, come back to try and defend this, because this is a strong push. We do have some mountain orc brutes in here. You know, they're spearmen, so they're not ideal against going into the excuse me, going into the basic tribal units. They will ward off the raiders, and they are hard to kill. All right, the base gets cleaned up for Misty Mountains. We do have a southern trade caravan on the field, not deployed yet. Has anybody got any heroes? Yeah, I think we're starting to see them. Out comes Siarul at level 1. And likewise, out comes, oh, we've got a level 2 Muzgash, so he must have helped clean up the base a little bit there. Still an awful lot of goblins, but there are orcs in here as well. Level 2 orc pikes do clean up a number, probably shave off about half of a couple of squadrons of raiders there, but the raiders do get around the back, trample a whole bunch of things. Muzgash getting in here as well. Level 3, he is going to just farm those raiders if he can catch them, and just one-shots them. He's going to beat them down. They are doing their best to run from him. He's doing his best to chase them. But this is going Haradwaith's way again. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. There's a level 3 Gundabad stone troll in here. Oh my. The Gundabad trolls are big trouble. We went straight up to the level 3 troll there. Another Gundabad stone troll. Gundabad stone trolls have a number of upgrades you could purchase for them. The dread helmet, the serrated armor, the scything gauntlets, and they are just monstrously powerful, monstrous creatures, big trolls. They're very hard to deal with. They're very powerful and very hard to deal with once they're upgraded. Super, super strong tech. We're going to have to see some... We've got some Mahood headhunters. I wonder if the extra DPS from them is planned to be some way to take care of these trolls. Headhunters, kind of glass cannons. They do good damage, but are very, very weak. Will fall down quite quickly. Down south, we got raiding cavalry, and it looks like Suladan's on the field, of course. He's already up to level 4, so he's gotten some work done here. I can't quite... Oh, we've got the wereworm down. The Oasis goes down to try to counter it. It's not a counter, but it was the counter play. Still 9 points for Misty Mountains, 14 points still for Haradwaith. So Haradwaith sitting on quite a bit more points, but immediately he jumps on the Oasis with a whole horde of Moria Orcs here. He might be able to pull that down. That would be big. Would prevent him from a lot of healing capability for his heroes. And we see the Gundabad Stone Troll comboed with the Wereworm just tearing down some of the production structures. Haradwaith on the back foot here. Ooh, a strong breath from the Wereworm. He was about to time out, and before Haradwaith committed to him and managed to lose a whole lot. There's a Casimir in the field, though. Level 1. He's just come out. Muzgash is here with 1 hit point. Really doesn't want to be there. Too late. Realizes he's out of position. Catches an arrow, and he goes down. And most of Misty Mountains gets cleaned up. However, he manages to knock Haradwaith down to 650 command points, 675 available for Misty Mountains. So, you know, the economics have evened up a little bit here. There are, what is this, tribal bowmen down south, just chilling out within range of a inn they're not taking, keeping an eye on this cave. But a lot of combat back home. Siarul looking fine, Casimir looking fine. Is there... Yep, still a Suladan on the field as well. So the Haradwaith... Ooh, and a nice trample through all those orcs once the raiders show up. Haradwaith getting a pretty decent hero squad on the field here now. going heavy into a lot more Mahood headhunters. The man likes his headhunters. Mahood headhunters and Horondor spearmen seems to be the combo at the moment. The I think fell behind a little bit on the macro here maybe, but out comes some more goblins. Not a whole lot on the field at the moment. Ooh, Stone Troll runs in, gets one hit, and then sort of cleaned up by everything. That's unfortunately a waste of a rather expensive, rather powerful troll. It's a Stone Troll is 1,000. It's practically a hero. It's a very expensive investment. You don't want to be throwing the Stone Trolls away. They're not quite as cheap as the Mountain Trolls like Mordor has. And you don't want to just toss them into spears anywhere. You want to keep a little bit more of an eye on them, make sure you're getting good value out of them. 21 ring points for Misty Mountains, 21 for Haradwaith. So the two sides have evened out the ring points as well. The Haradwaith Raider squad with Suladan, though, is farming. They do manage to get out. Only one or so picked up. Some orcs and goblins jumped out of the cave, and now they're pursuing. And there is Urshak here as well. Orc Shaman does a nice job one-shotting down some of these raiders. There's a pretty decent job trampling there while still avoiding the pikes. However, we're starting to see the Black Numenorians on the field, which are some very powerful elite swordsmen. They just look like bosses. Their armor is so cool. We got those great big Zweihanders. And they are just beelining in, no support whatsoever, just sending the Black Numenorians by themselves straight in. Now, they're going to have a real horrible time with this Gundabad Stone Troll. They would tear the Orcs and Goblins apart, but the Stone Troll is another thing. Oh, that was a nice smack, but the Headhunters do manage to pull down the Stone Troll again. Again, a pretty heavy loss, and it does look like the Golden King is on the field as well, level 1, so he's fresh out. Level 2 on the Casimir, and again, the Haradwaith Hero Squad is looking pretty concerning to me. Ooh! The Gundabad Stone Troll gets a mighty whap, but not quite enough to kill them all, but the Raiders are forced to flee, although they got pretty good trample there. They ran down a lot of things. Out come the Orcs a tad too late. He's going to pull down the sentry tower, and we've got Durin's Bane selected. Nothing selected yet for Haradwaith. Urshak out here, doing pretty well up to level 5. However, we do have the Golden King and Casimir and everyone causing trouble in here. It's really just Urshak level 6 and a Stone Troll level 3. Unfortunately, they are a little overextended. Urshak now is making a run for it. He does manage to hop in the tunnel. Okay, saves him. That's good, but lost another Stone Troll, unfortunately. Level 4 CR Rule, level 2 Casimir, level 2 Golden King. So not outrageous, but getting up there. Level 7 Suladan. Very tough. The lands retaken is prepared. Level 8 now. The Onslaught is prepared. Suladan nearby cavalry gain 50% armor and minus 100% trample deceleration for 20 seconds. So no deceleration. Just go ahead and trample through everything you can trample forever. Well, not forever, for 20 seconds. And we do see the Black Matriarch comes in. Is she going to go for the fort? If she's going to pick the troll layers up, is not a bad idea. This is a lot of value invested in the level 3 troll layer. And it does look like she started there. Black Matriarch's a little uncertain. She's still thinking. I think the troll layer is a decent bet. You probably would have been able to just beeline straight for the fortress with her, honestly. Have we got Durin's Bane out? We do. Where the hell is it? Did I miss it? What happened to the Durin's Bane? Was used somewhere? Was it used and timed out? Oh my god, I'm so sorry if I missed that, guys. Oh no, that's tragedy. He didn't do a whole lot apparently, because I missed it completely. The Black Matriarch does get out the troll cave. She does pull down an orc cave and a tunnel network, which is okay. It's not quite the back-breaking play. There really is no... This area here looks clear-ish. Was this built up and then a Balrog ran through there while I wasn't watching? News to me. I have my sound down a little bit because it's late at night. I'm trying to cast quietly, sneakily, but they must have summoned Turn's Bane and missed it. I'm so sorry. We do have the Goblin King is on the field now. The Great Goblin, level 1. Haradwaith back to their base. Misty Mountains badly wounded, but left to rebuild for the moment. 2,000 gold in the bank, so he's spending it. 575 command points on the board. Meanwhile, 500 of 900 for Haradwaith. So Haradwaith looking in the commanding position here. Karan Lambar comes out to complete the hero squad, or mostly complete. I think they're still missing their dancing girl. I can never remember her name. But this ought to be enough, I think, to close the door here. We shall see. What the hell did the Balrog do? I didn't even see it. It was so impactful I can't even tell where it was. The base, I guess, is like down a third. The Balrog might have been tasked on the fortress, but it wasn't enough to bring it down. Great Goblin is out, is looking for a little bit of value, trying to clean up the bazaar. The Wereworm comes out. Not ideal, and the guards of the serpent. The guards of the serpent are out. The super elite Haradwaith cavalry. These guys are absolute menaces, extremely tough, extremely fast, and they've got a Suladan leading them around. The Wereworm's trying to chase them. Not doing a great job. I think we maybe would have liked a Wereworm more on that clump of infantry. He's trying to do some tunneling, some repositioning to try to get back, but wisely Haradwaith is running away from where the Wereworm is burrowing towards. Meanwhile, there's nothing that can really stop these guards of the serpent. They're so fast. Once these come on the field, you really need to rely on the enemy screwing up. And he's a bit deep here. But the banner of the Black Serpent is out. We do have some gun-to-bed berserkers on the field. Everything, I think, the kitchen sink is being thrown in. They do manage some really good damage on a bunch of the serpents. I think he should have chased. I think he was doing an okay job chasing there. But he opted to fall back, lets a lot of the serpents escape. 5 of them out of 10 survived, so knocking them down to half is good. Does a call, they are coming. Over hereabouts, gets decently trampled for his trouble due to some black Numenorian vanguard. Again, elite heavy cavalry. I don't know where his troll destroyer went. Did it die? Did it go somewhere else? Oh, we've got a Mumak on the field as well. Alright, Haradwaith just sort of running around, stomping on things. I do feel like this hero squad could have gone in. Oh, we've got quite a pitch battle. Goblins jump out here, but again, right into the hero squad. Not a ton of supporting infantry. Some spears, some archers, a couple of headhunters, but the heroes alone ought to be able to swing this. We do have some Mahood chieftains in here as well, and indeed, they do kill a whole lot of goblins. I think the Great Goblin hopped in. Yep, Great Goblin and his little friend Urshek here hopped in and ran away, but lost all their goblins for their trouble. Meanwhile, Numenorians cleaning up in the backfield. Our Guardians of the Serpent have been reconstituted and are riding around with Suladan, and I've got to say this looks like a Haradwaith game. If there was still, I guess we're 2/3 of the way through the Durin's Bane cooldown, but even him, it looks like we've got a fortified citadel back here that's been healed up, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere. The Ruins of Angmar come out, Dead of Arnor, White Wolves on the docket, but there are 2 Mumaks on the field, and that must surely be the end of the Misty Mountains. In come the Mumaks. Nope. He's allergic to attacking the fortress. Oh, a nice freeze. That's gotta be... I don't even recognize that. It's gotta be... what is that? Level... Fell Winter. Enemy and ally units are frozen and cannot move for 15 seconds. There it is. Urshak's level 6. Don't see that too often, but... it's unfortunately not gonna change anything. The horns blow, and in come the Mumaks, and the fortress goes down almost instantly. It's going to be the end of Joffie. Some solid Haradwaith play. And once that hero squad really comes online, hero killing's tough to do when they're all next to each other and they're all tough. Each one of them a very powerful fighter in and of their own rights. No slacks on the Haradwaith lineup. All right, GG. It hasn't been called, but it is true and well GG. There it is. He made him destroy every last structure. He's not going out like that. That was game one. We got more games coming up here. I think our next one is a relatively quick match. It is a Mordor v Mordor mirror match. Orcs on orc violence. We'll see how it goes. We've got Joffie in the dark green Mordor, bottom right corner, and Futomak in the top left corner on yellow Mordor. We'll see if there's any variations of our builds. Everybody's opening with the old 2 slave pens, slave farms. I would imagine we've got slave farm number 3 for... This is Joffie, right? Oh, clicked the wrong button. Yeah, Joffie's in green. Slave farm number 3 for Joffie, and he goes into 3 in a stronghold. Meanwhile, looks like 4 farms for Futomak. So we've got a bit of a differentiation already. Joffie will put some orcs in the field a little sooner, but Futomak will have a better economy. See how it goes. Orc stronghold number 2 being constructed for Joffie. And Futomak's first orc stronghold is just going up now. Now, Mordor, of course, doesn't have any of those tricksy caves to jump in and just pop out behind your base. They're going to have to walk across the old-fashioned way. And there are cave troll on the top here, cave troll on the bottom here, and a band of goblins in the middle. So it's a little annoying to walk through until you get a little bit of creeping done. And then there's a wargs on either end guarding some inns. So your orcs could take some heavy casualties if they walk through unaided, but the first orcs are out. Futomak going with the troll cage. I'm a big troll enjoyer. If you know anything about my Mordor play, I love the mountain trolls. They just feel so good. They're so efficient. They fight just about anything well. They're nice and cheap and powerful. 510 for a mountain troll. It's a hell of a deal. Second stronghold coming up. The orcs see it and go. First orcs see it and go around it. Futomak opens actually with pikesman. He's going to creep. No concern at all about this aggression. Is Joffie going to be able to pick up this slave pen? He ought to. Proper onto the aggressive stance. Oh, but he's picked up the cracks of doom. Futomak grabs them, and that does damage over time. It manages to burn all those orcs down. Very valuable pickup. And Joffie also picked up cracks of doom, but used them on the middle for creeping. Orcs here are gonna meet a mountain troll and a swift death. He does manage to get... Oh, this is wild. There's already spears in the base, so I guess Joffie either was coming over to creep his neighbor's creep lair, or was anticipating some sort of mountain play. Does manage to steal a gold chest from him. That's valuable. $100 refund. You don't hate that. Orcs and orcs, what have we got? We've got 2 orcish strongholds. That's not a lot. 2 orcish strongholds up now for Joffie. Meanwhile, 2 orcish strongholds and a troll pen up for Futomak. Orc archers come out relatively early. Decent enough counter to the regular orc warriors. Joffie getting his creep on, catching his neutral camp. It looks like he got the middle camp as well. Nobody's touched the middle trolls. Both of the wargs are down. And we've got a orc force for Joffie going in down south. And up north, a bit of an orc force pressing forward for Futomak. Nobody actually... Oh, and we got a hero on the field here. He's opted for Gorbag. Gorbag's a very fun pick. Pretty weak early on, but levels up fairly quickly and is a strong hero killer. Has a lot of anti-hero abilities. Drop kick 'em, I'll bleed you, all kinds of good stuff. Great for countering enemy hero play. He spreads out a little bit in the base. I don't think he needed to do that. These one orcs are going to be a slight speed bump here as they get torn apart. He will manage to clean up one slave mill here. Up north, he does have a troll with this force and 2 archers, so that is a much nicer force. They run into some spears. Careful with that troll. Okay, the troll is reasonably careful. He doesn't take any trample revenge damage. In the base, Joffie has gotten 1 slave mine. And there's some orcs back here to fight as well. 600 v 650. It's hard to know who is what, though. The gosh dang mirror matches. 5 to 5, so they both have the same ring points. Some pitched battling up north and to the west, and a Nazgul out as well. Heavy hero play from Joffie here. Nazgul v Stone Troll. Stone Trolls actually do pretty decent single target damage, so it's not as clear a battle for the Nazgul. Nazgul might have been better off just trampling these things down. This is a much better battle. Oh, look at him charge through those orcs like he was meant to. Okay, so Nazgul level 2. That's alright. Did Gorbag get out of that scrum up top? I don't see him anywhere. I feel like maybe he died up there. Or he's in here. The trouble is he looks just like an orc. It's very hard to tell. Nope, he is here. Level 3 Gorbag. Okay, so he's getting some farm on. Mordor, orc warriors, orc archers are really abysmal at fighting heroes. Some good trampling in the middle. Cracks of Doom comes down on top of the green guys. Okay, so that was this guy's usage of Cracks of Doom. So this guy that we're looking at right now must be Futomak. So we switch to Joffie here. Okay, yeah. Joffie at 825, Futomak at 825. Both of them expanding well. Another troll down south here. Might be hard to clean up because you've got a Nazgul, but he's a little beaten. He is up to level 3 though, so he's got his Screech unlocked. And Gorbag is in here somewhere. I saw him make it home. God, he's so hard to see. Level 4 Gorbag. Okay, so he's got his drop kick. He's got his I'll bleed you. If we ever get any heroes on the board. Oh, we do have a Nazgul. Drop kick him. Drop kick him. Oh, it would have been perfect. It would have been just perfect. Where you at, Gorbag? He's chasing him. He was trying to. Oh, if you'd have drop kicked him right in the middle of that, it would have been like the most perfect use of Gorbag possible. Oh my god, go drop kick him. Gorbag. You've got one purpose, and it's to drop click and bleed heroes. If you can't do it, just put them on auto cast and hope for the best. Could have easily cleaned up that Nazgul. That's a damn shame. Hate to see that happen. Our other Nazgul looking around up top. So we're at 950 right now for Joffie. If we check over... No, damn it. I think it's 950 for Futomak. 750 for Joffie. We've got Slaves of Nirn used. And Cracks of Doom go down. And some really solid trampling again for the Nazgul. The Nazgul's been very valuable. The Futo's Nazgul is only level 1. And again, he's got to be real careful. Gorbag, where are you at? Are you in this scrum somewhere? Just kick this man. There it is, right. Oh, we got fire arrows on the field, though. Fire arrows, one of the changes to the recent patches, I think, really beefed up Mordor a lot. They changed it so you can research fire arrows right off of tier 1. And it looks like Joffie's got the better of this one because there is a lot of trouble. Shagrat comes on the field, although again Gorbag counters Shagrat pretty hard. And the fire arrows are giving the anti-building damage to this force that otherwise would just be pinpricking these buildings. But there's a lot of fire archers in the field. I think this might be a good game already here. 850 v 850 at the moment. Slaves of Nirn for both of them to pull in a little extra income. We do have mountain trolls coming out, but there are some pikes, and the mountain trolls actually are gonna... Ooh, a really nice Cracks of Doom, but he manages to mostly get off of it without too much loss. And he cleans up an Orc stronghold, the second Orc stronghold, I think. There's another one in the back. There's still one Orc stronghold, one troll lair. We got some lumber mills down south even. Holy moly. But I feel like this is quite a force right now for Joffie. Yeah, 500 of 975 versus 180 of 700. So it's a massive army on the field. Oh, the Nazgul comes in danger close. I just want to see one drop kick to make me happy. This, I feel like this Gorbag could have been feasting. He's level 7, for God's sake. Loyalty to the Red Eye. Target enemy hero loses 25% armor, and Gorbag deals 25% more damage. He should be hunting. He should be feasting. Shagrat up there is just hanging out, not exactly sure what he's going to do. Oh, a builder gets cleaned up. This looks like it's GG. Futo's trying to rally an army here. A couple of trolls that have picked up stones for some sort of range damage here. He does have his own fire archers, but this mass of fire archers, Orcish archers, is going to be really tough to deal with. And here we go. We've got a battle. Nazgul comes in, gets a nice charge on him. We've got a good cracks of doom on him as well. And the fire arrows just burn the trolls down. Almost in 2 volleys, basically. And that's GG there. Oh, there's a drummer troll out too. Oh, no bueno. No bueno, Futo. There it is. Futo calls it. He can see the black speech on the wall. Headed to game 3. 1-1 so far. Good series. We'll see how it goes. Our last one, Misty Mountains and the Ironfoot Dwarves, I believe. Ironfoot is right, the Reign of Dane, something like that. We've got Futomak on the Misty Mountains this time. More orcs for you. I promised you orcs, and I'm here to deliver. And Joffrey in gray once more on Erebor. Erebor, the Reign of Oakenshield, the Reign of Ironfoot. I don't think we have one selected yet. He's thinking about it. We'll see how the dwarves do against the mistiest of mountains. Misty Mountain's tough. Very, very tough. And honestly, I don't see a lot of people have success with dwarves in the intermediate bracket, at least. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not watching the right dwarf players, but we shall see. We've got a pretty quick Erebor Hall of Warriors, 2 mines and a Hall of Warriors. Meanwhile, we've already got a Moria Orc Cave up here. So we've got 3 mines into the Orc Cave. Dwarf Warriors are queued up, are Azag Baruch. Nobody's got anything forward yet, although we see what looks like Futomak's in the yellow, right? Futo is running down south with a goblin builder. He's going to look for a cheeky forward spot. Meanwhile, Joffie's running up north with the dwarven builder. It's funny how a lot of these players' actions have sort of mirrored one another. One of them goes north, the other goes south. First dwarves are out. Loaded into the mines. They called it a moine. A pretty conservatively dropped orc tunnel over here, sort of in the very southern part, but it's not that close to the dwarf base. It's still quite a walk away from the dwarf base. Where are these creatures going? They're headed backwards? Oh, they're coming up here to grab this. That makes sense. This is a watchtower, a Lothlorien treehouse. I think it's just the watchtower that gives vision. I don't know that I've ever captured the Lothlorien treehouse. I'm not super familiar with this map, but alright. I'll buy it. Out comes a dwarven builder up here. We did have a mine dropped way in the north. Again, relatively conservatively. The players continuing to mirror one another. And a whole host of goblins coming out. Do we have any dwarves at home, Mom? Not really. There's a little bit of Azag Baruch in tunnel system. 2 squads headed into the Misty Mountains up north. They will find at least 1 mine. If they'd been a little later, they'd have caught that one as well. Oh, we've got the fell wind to mildly inconvenience these dwarfs before they come in and murder these goblins. The goblins do get a nice surround and tear up that mine very quickly, though, and then they run away, as a proper goblin does. Good, solid play by Futo. A horde of goblins out on the Azag Baruch, and trading reasonably well. I feel like they got maybe one of those dwarven squads before the second one managed to kill all of them. Level 2 on the Azog Baruk, that's nice. You do love leveled up dwarves. You want to finish off those ruins though. Finish the ruins, my man. Another wave of goblins coming in though. We're going to clear up those dwarves though. Dwarves, you know, not famous for their sprinting speed, while these goblins are fast as hell. Popping poison blades to cause some damage over time. Those dwarves' days are numbered. They're gonna sell themselves dearly against those goblins. Down south we also have skirmish in the trees. Some dwarves battling goblins over here. They are keeping the goblins busy and out of the base at the moment. Look at that, we've got a dwarven mine here right next to an orc tunnel. So the dwarves pop out, and it does look like we've got some Sulka Bekas, the Grimhammerers, am I right? That's what they are. That's what they are. The Grimhammerers do an AoE damage, so very powerful against these Moria orc hordes. We do have some orcs that have popped out on the dwarf side. Looking for trouble, looking for mines. Everybody's looking for each other's mines. Orcs get on this mine and tear it down, but the Grimhammers catch them. We'll see how they're able to do. They've killed quite a few goblins in a relatively short amount of time. But the goblins are quick, so they're sneaky. 750 for Misty Mountains. Futo's done a great job expanding. Only 600 for the dwarves. Slightly larger standing force for the dwarves, though. The dwarves tear that mine down quickly. But meanwhile, the goblins get that one. Goblins falling back here because there's more dwarves in the backfield. Dwarves on an orc tunnel here as well. And they're gonna get the tunnel right next to the goblin caves. Oh, very, very solid, very solid. That's a relatively safe tunnel, a very important one for him to quickly be able to get new goblins into the cave networks. But there are still a lot of goblins on the field running about. A couple of dwarves chilling out back here grabbing a treehouse when they really ought to be out fighting goblins, but I suppose, you know, if you need a treehouse, you need a treehouse. 8 points for the dwarves, 5 points for the Misty Mountains. Slight power lead for the dwarves. 700 command points, Misty Mountains, only 500 for the dwarves. So Misty Mountains done slightly better on his expansion. Sulka Bekas and Azog Baruks doing their best to chase down these goblins. Again, it's windy, so they get slightly inconvenienced by that. It does buy the goblins a little bit of time. They'll probably allow them to clean up that mine, maybe. Oh, I don't know. The Grim Hammers absolutely cleave through the Moria orcs. Not even funny. Ooh, ooh. And there's a lot of dwarves in the field, causing a lot of trouble here. They do have their orc tunnel back up in the backfield here, but there's dwarves in the front field. And I don't think... there's just 2 goblin caves? With 2 Moria orc caves, you're not going to be able to make enough to kill these Sulka Bekas. He's trying to get on them, but oh my god, they just cleave right through scores and scores of goblins. The goblins are all dead. They're all dead. Another wave of dwarves coming in up north. Oh, they did have a send in the goats there. That's what we were seeing the end of there. There are some goblins running around in the front field, but there's a lot of dwarves in the Misty Mountains base. I feel like we might already be closing in a GG. More Moria orc caves coming out. So when goblins won't get the job done, the only answer is extra goblins, maybe a great goblin. Great goblin will do a great job. He will single-handedly be able to beat stick down most all of these dwarves. Cleans out the southern side without losing anything terrible. Looks like he might lose the northern cave, though. There's another big chunk up here. But the Great Goblin... So we know what he spent his money on. He saved up for a relatively expensive hero. I believe the Great Goblin's 2,500? Something like that. He calls a swarm of little goblins to come help him out, but I don't know that that was necessary. He could have cleaned that up himself. But more dwarves coming in. We're starting to see some pikes come out. Pikes will be a bit of a danger to the Great Goblin. We've got a little squad of orcs running around still the midfield, doing their best cleaning out tunnels. He has kept the dwarves down to 575, the command points, but Misty Mountain's down to 600 now. And the Goblin and his force able to chase the dwarves back. In comes another dwarf force here, but keep that goblin on the front line. Keep him fighting, because your Moria orcs aren't going to do crap. I think your goblin would have traded okay there. I think you would have been fine to leave him in against the Azog Baruch. I think he would have been just fine. Meanwhile, our harassing goblins get caught by some dwarves for a little bit, chopped up quite a bit here. There's a lot of goblins on the field now, but they're in a very sort of defensive stance back home. There's a lot of Misty Mountains mines, but they're all in weird spots around the map. I guess he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over just north of the dwarven base. If the dwarves could read, they'd be very angry. Be very upset about that. Okay, so a bunch more goblins come out. The destroyer immediately goes to chop up the tunnels. Well, we've got a nice horde of goblins here. And it looks like the dwarfs are struggling to deal with this great goblin. Up to level 3, still full hit points. Horde of Erebor goes down, but the goblins just say, okay, never mind, we'll come back later. So our cave troll destroyer, is he out destroying? Is he part of the mass here? Okay, he's fallen back. Because we do have more dwarves in the base. There's always dwarves in the base. Chopping up the lumber mill. Lumber mill is sort of a bold plan. I would not invest in lumber mills myself, but I don't know what I'm doing. Don't listen to me. A lot of goblins come out. There is actually a full-strength Sulka Bekaz back here, which could cleave through innumerable amounts of goblins. The Grim Hammerer is going grimly to work, up to level 3 already, but they are facing impossible odds here. As a proper going down as a proper dwarf should, surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of goblin corpses. Oh my god, they're actually killing so many. I'm not entirely sure they're going to lose this. Okay, the reinforcements are coming in, because I think these last two might have cleaned out that whole army there. Level 4 on the Grim Hammers before they get pulled down. Alright, dwarfs finally getting wise to literal goblin lumber mills in the back lines. Cleaning up over there, cleaning up down here. But there is a big mass of Great Goblin, his pet troll, and a whole host, and I think a lot of woodcutters. Also, goblin laborers maybe got grabbed in the control group here. Or maybe because their lumber mill over here got destroyed, they were walking to deliver to the lumber mill over here, and now they're just lost. Oh, those poor goblin laborers. Okay, 720 of 800 for Misty Mountains, 400 of 725 for the dwarfs. So, dwarfs doing a good job finally catching up by cleaning up some of these things, but there is a large Misty Mountain force coming in, and another large one down south, which has most of the dwarf army along with Gimli. Gimli only level 1, also a Gloin as well. And was that a Hadhot I saw in there? Hadhot as well. Okay, so we got a trio of dwarves in the field. We'll see what they could do. They ought to be able to tear up this this southern force if they can catch them. They're speedy, and of course Gloin doesn't quite have his leap for some time, but goblins pushing in up north, still looking pretty nasty. Down south, getting cleaned up. Are they going to get the mine? They do. Feeding a little bit of XP. We do have Gloin up to level 3 now. Hadhot at 4. Gimli's, I think, still 1. The goats were used somewhere there. I didn't see exactly where. Probably up north, because this looks a bit thinned out. We'll see how they can do versus the Troll, Destroyer, and the Great Goblin. Nope, Misty Mountain doesn't want any of that smoke. They're backing off. Dwarves reduced to 575, though, versus 875 for Misty Mountain. So Misty Mountain's done a nice job. Managed to stabilize, managed to come back. Doing a lot of hit and run. Again, we've got more orcs down south. I feel like what we've seen so far in this series is Futomak being very solid on his micro, very solid on his macro, but I think a lot of the decision makings about like what to build and what to make have been slightly better on Joffie, allowing him to sort of keep up with these battles here. But the heavy micro play by Futo is getting the better of him at the moment. He's done a really nice job expanding. He's up to 900 command points, still has a very large army here. Might be able to overwhelm these dwarves. hits him with the stinky wind and goes in. And we got the battle of all battles here. Quite a scrum. Gimli working on the Cave Troll Destroyer. We'll manage to clean him up. Great Goblin's still quite healthy. Gloin in here, level 4. Needs to use probably his healing lore. He could use a little bit of health here. Oh, we do have the Dwarven Chariot out, doing his best to run through this. Dwarves doing pretty well. Heavy casualties on both sides. Great Goblin dueling with Gimli down here. Not a great duel. Nobody really wants to duel Gimli. But there are so many... I was going to say there's so many orcs, goblins in the field still, but that's actually getting thinned out quite well. Gimli level 2. And this chariot does some huge work, and I think our dwarven heroes all lived, which is massive. 7 on the Hadhod, 4 on the Gloin, that ought to be 3 on the Gimli, and nobody tosses a dwarf is unlocked now. That is a game changer. It's a massive AoE, gonna be real pain for these goblin hordes. We do have 2 orc dens, 4 goblin caves. So I wonder if we're going to see a transition into orcs. These are leveled up. Level 3? Level 2? Are we going to see some of the Bolg's bodyguards? Some Gundabad berserkers maybe? Who knows? Oh, he looks like he's... Oh, we got Bolg on the field. Bolg of the North. They did jump on some heroes. The mine shaft gets dropped as a disruption. Gloin is fallen back. Gimli's almost dead. They fled into the mine, and all of the dwarf heroes survive. Misty Mountains flees into the mine as well. Bolg survives. Oh, very, very tight. Bolg there. The Goblin King was fine. Bolg, oh, I guess he's okay. It looked like he was very low for a moment. Dwarves back home. Herb lore available. Level 8 on the Hadhod. Got the Siege Master. Target Azog Baruch or upgrade with Siege Hammers. And we've got 2 goat chariots on the field. Goat chariots ought to be very strong. Have we got any spears in this force yet? Not that I see. Looks like it's all Moria orc goblins. Go feast, goats. You don't want to go straight into the middle. You want to be kind of shaving off the sides, but that was a very nice barrel onto him too. This looks like it'll be a very dwarf favored fight if they're able to get it. Cave Troll Destroyer, they ought to be able to clean up. Don't let him run away. Nope, he does get away. Okay. I think if the dwarves had they were trying to clean up a mine down here. If they committed a little heavier to the fight, they might have gotten a little extra value out of it, but now it seems like Misty Mountain a bit on the back foot. Not sure how to deal with the dwarf heroes and the dwarven chariots. Proven to be very strong. He hasn't been able to put much damage on them, and they have run rampant. Level 3 on one of them. Still 950 command points for Misty Mountain, 750 for the dwarfs, but 720 of 750. Oh, the wereworm comes out. It's going to be very strong. It's a good flame breath. Catches a lot of dwarves. Misty Mountain's engaging. Oh, the goblins come out but are immediately countered by the ram charge. Bolg is very low here. He needs to be careful. Chariots, look like they go down. We've got a lot of dwarves, but the dwarves look like they are fleeing at the moment. Muzgash is in there. I think Muzgash just died. We still have a Gloin. We still have a Gimli, now at level 5. No, don't go to the worm. Don't go to the worm. No, 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 no. Okay, you reset his attack just at the last second there. You don't want to. Don't give him free flame breaths. Ooh, could have been devastating. All right, and suddenly we're back at parity again. 600 of 1,000 for Misty Mountains. They're sitting on 8 power points. 450 of 650 for the dwarfs. So definitely an economic disparity, but they're sitting on 23 power points. So way ahead. Like 15-point power points ahead of the Misty Mountains at this time. But we do have Bolg's bodyguard are on the field as well. And there are some Gundabad berserkers, a bunch of Gundabad berserkers. Some very elite orcs. And unfortunately, the dwarves find out that the Gundabad berserkers count as spears and immediately wreck that dwarven chariot that ran in there. That was maybe a little bit of a knowledge check there. You don't see too many Gundabad Berserkers. Misty Mountain games often don't go this late. Unfortunately, these Bolg's bodyguards are very tough fighters, and we'll be able to trade into the dwarves here pretty well. There are some pretty tough dwarves. Oh, Gimli gets a nice leap onto all of those elite orcs and punishes them hard. The dwarven heroes come in clutch here, manages to chop up that quite expensive orc force, right? Bolg's bodyguard, 1,500. Gundabad Berserkers, 800 apiece. I mean, that was some money there. We do have Gimli's chasing down the sole Gundabad Berserker. Wants to be careful. He's only at half health. He's overextending. Oh lord. We have Durin the Deathless is on the field. I don't know that you often see a lot of Durin play, but here we are. The level 10 or Dwarf Lord. This is sort of similar to Gondor being able to call in, King Elisar. Comes out at level 10, has all these special abilities, could go invulnerable, can sunder enemy structures with a mighty earthquake, summons a permanent battalion of custodians, unleashes a barrage of ancient dwarven curses, and nearby allies gain immunity to knockback and trample, and structures gain armor. Durin is quite strong, and we see him turn that fight pretty handily. We've got a bunch more elite orcs. Excuse me. Voice is getting dry from all this sweaty orc action. Once again, these sad goblin laborers are running for their lives. Indeed, all the great goblins running for his life too. Level 5 great goblin stands no chance in hell against this very tough, very chad dwarf force. What's going on? Elegost Dunedain comes on the field. Hadhad. Oh, it looks like he's going for a building snipe. Hadhad sunders it. I think that might have also been a Durin earthquake there. It's very low, but we've got a ton of goblins on the field. The fortress does go down, though. There's a lot of goblins. I don't know if the dwarfs are going to get out of this alive, though. There is a big battle, a big scrum here. Great Goblin's quite low. Bolg is doing well. He's gaining levels pretty well here. And I think most of our dwarves are... God dang, those are some hardy dwarves. Custodians of Durin are mega buff. I'm having a hard time finding the dwarf heroes in here. Goblin books out. Oh, the dwarven heroes looks like they mostly made it out. Nope, we got King Dane and Durin on the field here still. Is there a Gimli or a Gloin left anywhere, or did they get caught in that mess? Misty Mountain's still fighting hard as well. Durin doing his best. I think King Dane leveling fast at least. There are Bolg's bodyguards in here to provide the DPS amidst all this, and some more dwarves come up to hold the line. Pardon the coughing. Oh boy, this is a hell of a match here. The small squad of a couple of dwarven heroes backed up by some stout dwarves do manage to lay waste to most of the standing army of Misty Mountains. A strong raiding force in the back of the Misty Mountains gets goated pretty hard. They sent in the goats. There's a handful of goblins back here causing trouble. There is still the dwarves up here. Dwarves are 300 of 675. Misty Mountains, 300 of 1,000. Still massive map control. We see a fortress being rebuilt in the east middle. Dwarves aren't aware of that yet. They drop a mine shaft in the middle of the goblin base. They're going to be able to clean up most of this stuff with impunity. They ought to have started up on the orc barracks, but it is what it is. Orcs come in with the Gundabad Berserkers and the Goblin King, but I feel like some of these dwarf heroes are still way too strong. We shall see. Level 6 in the Great Goblin. He's done a fantastic job staying alive. He's taking some pretty heavy damage here now. Some more dwarven spears come out to help. The Great Goblin goes down just as oh, game over. He calls it. It's a victory for the dwarves. What a match. I don't know. I don't know that the goblins are out of that. I mean, they were absolutely on the back foot, but they had full map control. They were still sitting on 1,000 command points. They were rebuilding their fortress. I feel like if he was really feeling committed, he might have been able to rat that out, at least for quite some time longer. But really tough to deal with those level 10 Durin the Deathless, those superpowered dwarf heroes. A lot of fun to see. What great matches. That was a ton of fun. GG, Futomaki and Joffie, those were so good, so good. Thanks for playing those. Thanks for watching, guys. I've had a great time. We'll have some new stuff coming up. I've been playing some other games, and I'm excited to sort of share them with you. And there'll be more Age of the Ring as well, because it's still tons of fun. I'm having a great time with it. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you with the next one.